Okay, welcome to Team Call Tuesday. It is April 23rd, and we are doing our team call tonight on personal development. Couple announcements. We have our challenge group or fit camp or boot camp for anybody on our team, but we have a couple starting, but all of them are starting. Hi, buddy. Hi, you cutest boy there ever was. On the 29th. So invite to that. You know, this is the week that it's the end of the month. You definitely want to, we talk about that sliding scale a lot in our Level Up Club. And the sliding scale is talking about like that myth of work-life balance, where there really is no work-life balance, that sometimes your family is going to need more attention and you're going to need to give them that. And sometimes your business is going to need more attention and you're going to have to sacrifice some Netflix or get up earlier. You know, that, and the end of the month to meet these goals, like Success Club is the month that you have to slide that scale. And before we started a challenge group, you know, so that babes have the opportunity to come into our tribe and feel love and feel success, you want to slide that over. So I might even go to Starbucks tonight because I need to focus and I need to get some stuff done. So, yeah, so the sliding scale, my recommendation is you slide that way on over on Hustle Time because the end of the month. And when we think about our goal as a team to go elite, it can kind of feel overwhelming. I know I personally feel overwhelmed a lot by that goal, but the business, the company, they set us up for success so that it's small chunks. Us making Success Club every month, take it 1 month at a time, take it 1 day at a time, take your Success Club tracker, your boxes at a time. Small goals lead to big results. An elite team is just a lot of babes doing small, manageable amounts of work. I don't want to say like a little work because it's a lot. I mean, we're hustling, we're doing a lot of work, but you know, we're not each helping 150 people a month, but all together we could get to that point where those are the numbers that we're doing. So the Ultimate Portion Fix is still on sale this month. Summit tickets are still, I think, on sale. Well, they're always on sale up until we get there, but they just go up increasingly as we get there. And then what else? I think that was it. The only other like kind of thing that's coming out next is that our after workout recovery drink is now coming in vegan, if you missed that announcement. So right now it's whey, the Recover is whey, but now they're launching the vegan. And I know we're gonna have another product launch announced at Summit, which is exciting. And I think it's gonna be collagen because that's kind of like a big thing right now. And forever ago, I got this like survey, like, would you try these products? And that question kept coming up. So I'm wondering if it's it. I mean, I don't really know. Until Beachbody honestly launches a supplement, I don't really know about it because then I research. But it seems like collagen might be it, or some delicious flavor of Shakeology, like salted caramel or something, because they did the pumpkin spice latte, and that was like way more of a hit than they ever thought. And it's so funny, I'm like totally on a tangent, but Carl Deichler, the CEO, was like, nobody's gonna buy that. I heard that on a call or at Summit. He was like, what was it? They were like, Transform 20 last year at Summit. They were like, Transform 20 is the new program, and everyone was like, woo! And then he was like, pumpkin spice latte is coming in the fall, and everyone was like, ah! Like everyone like lost their mind. They were so excited. Hi, baby. And he was like, I just don't understand. Like, you could try to make it yourself, but I've tried to make pumpkin spice Shakeology before, and that stuff was bomb. Anyways, I digress. Hi, baby. Can you go downstairs with Dada? Go downstairs with Dada. I don't understand. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about personal development. And full disclosure, today was a day, and I have minimal notes. I have lots I want to say, but it could kind of go like this. But you guys know me and love me, so you'll be okay with it, right? Did I hit record? Yeah, I am recording. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I want to talk about personal development because I had never done personal development before I became a coach. I am not somebody who likes to read. I am not someone who, that is a struggle for me personally. I am dyslexic and I have ADD, and so never mind if my mind can even stay focused on a book. I personally struggle with reading the words. I'm older now. I have thought like really hard through that, and so I like can read, but it's just like I think because of that disability from elementary school and middle school and high school that I definitely I don't lean towards reading. So when I signed up as a coach, for those of you who don't know, I don't have a working coach, but she was working when I very first signed up. And she said, okay, so we got on the phone and she was like, you need to do personal development every day. And I'm a really good rule follower. So I was like, okay, sure. And what should I do? And she's like, well, The Slight Edge is a good book and you can just listen to it on YouTube. Because at the time it was like bootlegged on YouTube. I don't know if it still is. And I listened to it. And if you have ever done The Slight Edge or the compound effect, it's the same principle that basically small, tiny actions over, like we were just talking about going elite. Small actions compound into huge results. And it's like the whole principle of The Slight Edge is built on this concept of like, if you've ever done the math problem of like if you get a penny and you double your money every day, like it's like, I don't know if it's a proverb or something. The guy is like, would you like $1 million or some big number? He's like, or would you like a penny a day, or to double this penny every single day for a month? And one guy is like, I'll just take the $1 million, thanks. And then the other guy's like, well, I'll do the penny. And so please see the book for the actual math, but it's like a ridiculous amount more higher than just $1 million. So it's like, but you don't see any of that. It's only like $13,000 up until like day 23 of the month or something like that. And then again, awful numbers, but you're understanding the point. And then all of a sudden it starts to compound and he has like millions and millions of dollars, as opposed to choosing the fast way and just taking the $1 million. So I, backing up a little bit too, I was not because I'm so excited that our team is growing and I don't necessarily know everyone personally, but I was not a health and fitness person. And so I didn't like to get into coaching because I was like, oh my gosh, these programs, like the form and the like the increase, I don't know the word, of like the moves and all of the things are so incredible in this fitness. I knew that I felt amazing. I didn't know why. I didn't understand. But I said, other people need to feel this way. Other people need to feel this way. I don't know what it is, but more people need to feel the sense of community of me. Every Friday, my coach posted a Flex It Friday, and my little tiny arms, because I had never worked out in my life and I had just given birth to a baby, had no muscle. And when I posted my Flex It Friday, all the girls were like, you go say, like, we knew each other. We knew each other. I still remember the girls from my very first challenge group. And I just was like, other people need to do this. I don't know what I'm doing and I don't understand how it works, but I want to do this. That was literally the conversation I had with John. And thank goodness he was like, okay. Not that I needed his permission, but you know what I mean. So so she said, read The Slight Edge and the Compound Effect. So that's what I did. And then I just understood in that moment that this business was not going to be an overnight success, but that if I continuously did these things, I would get there. And I just started to have all these epiphanies of business, and that's great. But then the next book I did, because I'm a rule follower, my coach said, well, why don't you read this one? She didn't even tell me. She just suggested a book. And I was like, okay, sure. I did The Power of Vulnerability by Brené Brown. And if you have not done that book, I highly suggest you do it as fast as possible. As soon as you can get your hands on it, if you can order it right now, do it. The word vulnerability was scary. However, I am someone who has been through a lot in my life, and one of the ways that I personally coped through those things was I was an oversharer. So my entire life, I have told everybody that my mom struggled with addiction, because that was my way of coping through that, was like, if other people know and I just kind of laugh about it and I like tell these stories, it will be fine. It will be totally fine. People will know and it'll be cool. So I was never shy about the struggles that I went through. I laughed through them and I did that. And so vulnerability had a different meaning to me than I kind of understood. I was like, I'm an open book. I've always said that. I was like, I'm an open book. It's fine. I can handle this. But sometimes when I tell people to get this, it's actually not a book. It's just an audio program. It's a seminar that she did. And it's her voice, and it's very like casual, like she's not reading something. She's just talking for these 6 sessions. And it is incredible. So I'm listening to The Power of Vulnerability. I remember to this day, I was teaching summer school in the summer of 2015, and I cried all the way to work, and I cried all the way home, and I could not stop listening to it, because I had been exposed to this world of a professional telling me things that I always knew in my heart, but apparently needed a professional of some kind to say, hey, this is normal. Like, other people are going through the same thing. And I was like, every session, the whole audio program is about becoming the most wholehearted you can be. And she makes up the definition. She's like, I'm making up this definition. But the wholehearted, they do these things. Like the wholehearted play and rest. The wholehearted, that's like the only example I can think of. But there's these, they're called guideposts. There's these guideposts. And so she's like talking about these things, and it's like I'm alone in my car or in my apartment with like a baby. And I'm like looking around and I'm like, are you kidding? Like, these are the things I've always struggled with. And I realized in that moment right there, I decided I would be a coach for the rest of my life if I never made another dollar, because in that one audio program that was exposed to me from this community of women who were cheering me on with my tiny little noodle arms to be better. It had nothing to do with sales. It had nothing to do with getting the most people into your groups. It was like, if you want to grow this business, you need to grow your mind the absolute most. And so I did that audio program. I have truly listened to it probably 5 or 6 times. Anytime I go through a really rough time or I'm feeling really anxious, I go back. I like have this like 5 books that I just go automatically back to. I go Brene Brown, Power of Vulnerability, Gifts of Imperfection, Mastering Your Mean Girl, and like then after I feel the feels, then I have Grant Cardone Kick Me in the Butt with the 10X rule. I have the exact same. When I go deep into anxiety, I go right back, and it helps me. But I said in that moment, I will always do these things. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about the hierarchy of needs, right? That pyramid of needs. And at the bottom, you know, we have like safety, shelter, food, water, air, that kind of stuff. And then the next is like stability. And it's this pyramid of these psychologists who decided that, you know, we have to have our basic needs met. And I learned about it in education classes because as children, you can't learn if you like don't have your basic needs met. So, but then as you go up the pyramid in the smaller sections, one of the things is fulfillment and service. So again, as coaches, what do? We serve other people. We were talking about this in one of our pods, was that it's a great distraction from some of the stuff that we have going on, that, you know what, I really don't want to think about this that's going on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to message babes and tell them that they like look really great today, and that they like killed it in their parenting life, like on their Instagram stories. And I'm going to invite them to this community, and I'm just going to distract myself and pour myself into this. And all of a sudden, that fulfillment need of our hierarchy of needs is met. And we're getting there through personal development, because, and I truly believe that you will grow as far in this business as you push yourself in personal development. So personal development can be the feels, right? The Brene Browns, the Rachel Hollis, it can be all of that. It can also be better ways to communicate, better ways to get your message across. It can be sales book. It can be, there's great you know, the Go for No is a great book. And Grant Cardone has like the 10X rule or the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. And I'll share these. Alyssa, I see you frantically writing. I have a list, so don't worry too much. But personal development is personal. So I can tell you what books have really worked for me, but you might start listening to You Are a Badass and be like, this is a joke. I listened to You Are a Badass the very first time and I really didn't like it. I re-listened to it recently at the end of 2018 and I was like, oh my gosh, this is speaking to me. In different seasons of your life, you are going to need different people to tell you different words, and or you're going to listen to the same thing and get a completely different message from it. Also, you just started a health and fitness business. You don't know what you're doing. So business development counts. It counts. But sometimes you're going to have to slide that scale. This is like not meaning to become one of my like catchphrases, but it is officially one of my catchphrases, that you're going to have to slide that scale depending on what you're doing. So we can teach ourselves, you know, how to better invite, how to better tell our stories on social media from, you know, YouTube videos and the National Wake Up Call and team calls and all of that stuff. But if you are feeling insecure about yourself and your story and you're not feeling confident enough, you're never going to execute the things that you're learning. So you need to slide that scale right on over and have somebody kick you in the butt to do the things. When I got back from New Leader Conference in January or February, whenever I went, I don't know, I was having a lot of, and I've talked openly about this, I was having the imposter syndrome. I went to New Leader Conference and I sat in a room full of people. We all earned it. We all earned the exact same conference. And I looked around and I was like, wow, my invite must have been mixed up. These people are really great and I do not deserve to be here. And so when I came back, I had to really dive into, why am I feeling this way? I have never struggled with my confidence in this business. I have like no problem sharing that I love it. I have definitely had to learn to share more effectively and all of those things, but I've never been scared to say it until I went to that conference and I was hit with a whole new like round of challenges. And that's okay, because at each time you climb a mountain in this business and in your life and all of the things, the funny thing is that you didn't climb the mountain. It's just one of the peaks. And then you see the next thing you have to climb. And that's what's going on constantly, is that we're just continuing to climb. And that's the beautiful thing about this business, is that you're constantly pushing yourself. And this will translate into other areas of your life. I promise you. I promise you that when you are diving into your personal development about like how to communicate more effectively and how to get your message across, and, you know, like your elevator speech, how to explain what coaching is in like whatever that is, like 15 seconds. It's going to be funny that at work, you're going to be able to effectively communicate better, and you're going to be able to do that, or you're going to speak to your kids more clearly and confidently. And that's, again, like I just like could say it a million times, but personal development is going to help you in your entire life. But if you need to listen to the same thing over and over, so I came back from, I keep saying National Wake Up Call, New Leader Conference, and the very last speech, Ashley Molstedt went up, because she's top coach, so she spoke, and she gave, I could cry right now thinking about it, because she said all of the things that were in my heart, all of the doubts that I had about myself, she was like, I had them. And, you know, she said, I could cry. She was like, at one point, she was like, and some, you know, she was like, I struggled with my depression my whole life. She's like, I struggled with this. I struggled with that. I don't have abs. I love to drink. I am not the person. And she goes, and somehow, and you heard her voice crack, she goes, I'm top coach. And I was like, oh, like I still have chills, where I did not struggle with, I don't struggle with depression. I struggle with anxiety and like limiting belief. But it didn't matter. She was telling her story, and I felt my story in her story. So when you, and I listened to that YouTube channel, I think it was right before we started the Level Up Leadership group we have going on, that everyone will have the opportunity to be in. We're going to start a new coach pod, and then we have the Level Up Leadership. So we're just going to focus on different things in here, but it's going to be the same format of checking in and being accountable to your business activities, just like we have accountability groups where we focus on our like, you know, fitness and nutrition accountability over here. But I was really trying to pump myself up to be able to lead, because I've never done anything like this before, you know, like each milestone we reach as a team is my first time here. So I would listen to it every single morning. So if you find a YouTube video that pumps you up, like I used to listen to this one, and Amanda, she's not on the call tonight. She like loves Tony Robbins, and she listens to like the exact same YouTube that he does, because it just pumps her up in a way that she's like, I don't get pumped up any other way besides when he says it. And I'm like, then do it on repeat, because I bet you every time you listen to it, it's different. So what is personal development specifically going to help you with your business? So you are going to grow your business. And I was thinking about the 4 vital behaviors, and I have 5 fingers, but just work with me here. And it's like a tire or a wheel, or, you know, a round thing that is rolling and growing, kind of like a snowball. If you do not do one of the vital behaviors, you have a flat tire and you will not roll. Personal development is huge for this, because personal development is going to arm yourself. Please, I hope that every day you wake up and you say, I am a coach. I am so excited. And you say whatever your goal is. I say, I'm a 2020 elite coach. I write it in my dream thing every single day. And I say, I'm a 15-star diamond coach, which when I say I'm a 15-star diamond coach, like I am like, that seems a million. I don't even know how that's possible, but that's what the goal is, right? That's the purpose of your big dream journal, is to say the impossible so that the impossible becomes your reality. And so I get up and I say these things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But you are an entrepreneur, and an entrepreneur, someone who has a business, you are going to go up and down on a roller coaster. There are going to be some days where everyone is like, yes, I love your post today. Like, your Instagram stories were fire. You know what? No, I don't want to join your group, but hit me up in July. And they're going to be like, yeah. And then other days, people are going to be like, what did she say to you today? What did she say to you today? Your pyramid scheme. I'm all set with your pyramid scheme. And you're like, and which isn't a big deal. But then when the next person says something negative, and then the next person says something negative, you start to say, wait a minute, should I be doing this? Maybe I'm not cut out for this business. You know what? I see other coaches, they're really doing well, but maybe it's just not for me. Just like I went to New Leader Conference and I sat in a room where we all earned the same thing, and I said, wow, they worked really hard to get here. No, we worked really hard to get here. We are working really hard in what we are doing. And everybody you see having success in any field is failing. And if they have had more success than you, it means they failed more. And that's a really tough pill to swallow, but we have to understand that it's not that they didn't fail, it's that they failed more. And maybe they just didn't talk about it, or maybe you missed the post when they did talk about it. So to grow this business, you have to make deposits into your confidence bucket. Confidence bucket deposits are action steps. So you can gather all the information. We can sit together on team call. We can do masterminds. We can do all the stuff. But until you are checking the boxes off on your Success Club tracker, you are not depositing anything into your confidence bucket. But as you do and your confidence bucket grows, you're feeling great. But how do you know to deposit? Well, that's personal development. That's the personal development that is saying, keep depositing, keep doing these things. So you know that sending the invite and checking into your talent group and pushing play on your workout and drinking your Shakeology and doing those things are depositing little drops into your confidence bucket. But what is going to make you do those things is your personal development. You are the gatekeeper to your mind. People are going to tell you, or my favorite is when we think we know what people are thinking, even though they've actually never said it to us, but our limiting belief, you're like, oh my gosh, my mother-in-law totally thinks I'm crazy because I just shared this wicked personal thing on Instagram, and she has to think, But she's never told me that. She's never said that to me. And even if she did, I don't look at her when I wake up in the morning. I look at me and what I want and what you want and your vision for your life. Nobody else is going to be there at the end of the day or in a year from now or 5 years from now. You are there every single day. And I feel the best every single day when I do my Success Club tracker. And I don't just physically mean this business Success Club tracker. I mean like everything on my list. Like I have this list I have in my head. Did I read a book to my kids? One book. My bar is low because I have 3 kids and I'm busy and I'm building the business. Did I read one book? Did I kiss them? A lot of times. I don't have a number on that, but I try to kiss them every time I walk by them. Did I tell them I love them? Did we go outside or did we do a dance party? And that's it. Did I text my husband something? Did I ask him how his day was? Did I do my personal development, my workout, like those kind of things? And then did I do like my gratitude? Like my bar is like, I don't have, because I'm a perfectionist and I would love to have my bar be like, well, today I sold 7, So it's the tiny buckets, the tiny little things we do that builds our confidence. And that when I go to bed, I say, I am awesome. And nothing that makes me feel awesome has anything to do with what someone said to me. It is what I think of myself. But that took time to get there. It took a lot of time because for a long time I was looking for outside validation. I was looking for someone to tell me that I could do this or that I was doing this or that I was really great. I am a recognition person. I don't hate when someone tells me that I did something good or I made their day, but it does not define me anymore. It used to, and I will tell you how I got there. Rachel Hollis got me there. Brene Brown got me there. Her name is Melissa Ambrosini. She's Australian, and I love her. She got me there. She told me that I am confident. And I had this moment the other day because people always say that your kids watch you, right? And I always have that moment where like I'm doing a workout and they like will do like a move behind me and it's like super cute and I always catch that on camera. But I was in the mirror the other night and I was like just doing my hair or something and I looked back and Cammie was literally had her hands wherever I had my hands, she had her hands. So even though she didn't have a brush or a blow dryer, like she had her hands up like this. And then I was like doing something with my fingers and she like went and did it with her fingers. And then I was like, okay, this is the moment. This is the moment that they tell you. So I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I am so beautiful. I am so beautiful. And she said, I am so beautiful. I am so beautiful. Okay, I could cry because there are going to be times where you don't see them looking. And if you are not the gatekeeper to your mind, they're going to catch you when you drop something in the kitchen and you say, oh, I'm so dumb, or I'm so stupid, or gosh, God, why didn't I do better? They're going to see you, and then they are going to mimic that. And if someone is on the call without children, one day you might have them, or someone will look at you, or your students will look at you. Here she is, this girl. Ugh, it's hot mess. Huh, you. We're gonna be best friends one day. Right now we're kind of frenemies. So it's gonna be a moment where they look at you, and it's not going to be the workout that you did or the kale smoothie you drank. It is going to be the personal development that you have done religiously as a habit every single day, every single morning, or whenever you fit it into your schedule, that arms your mind to know that you are enough, you are worthy of love, you are deserving of success, and you are beautiful just the way you are. And as you do that, that will be the aura and the light that you leave onto people. But you have to know it to be able to do it. Now, I will tell you that when I first started my gratitude journal and my dream journal, I wrote like the 10 big dreams or whatever Rachel Hollis tells you to do. It felt really uncomfortable writing some of those things. And now, yeah, she has 10 hair bows in her hair. It's really fast. Look down. Show them. because she wanted all of them in, huh? Yeah. Are you so funny? Are you so funny? So this wasn't a very long call. That's how I knew I could push it till 6:15. But the last analogy, I think it's Darren Hardy. He talks about it. And he has the compound effect and then the entrepreneur roller coaster. Darren Hardy. He's amazing. And he spoke at Summit 2 years ago, and he gave me all the feels. Like, he is just so powerful when he speaks. And he talks about that you need to be the gatekeeper to your mind. So and this is like not as much about coaching, but just about life, that there are some pretty, if you are following people on social media that you are having issues with comparison or envy, unfollow them. You are the gatekeeper to your mind, and you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. They could be a wonderful person and be doing all the right things, and it's not about them, it's about you. I have had to unfollow top coaches because I have felt this, I don't know if it's comparison or envy, all of it probably at different points in my business, because I was feeling like I should be doing more. Or not even about coaches. If you're following some blogger or some like stylist or I don't know, and you're feeling those feelings, you need to unfollow them. If you are obsessing Cannon's awake. If you are feeling like the news articles that are coming through are super overwhelming and you're feeling super negative and anxiety from all of the things, you can still be an informed member of society and an informed voter by limiting what you are listening to. If you are watching the news for 2 hours, you are making, he described your mind like a glass of water. And if you are dumping in dirt into the glass of water, it's going to take more, like you have to pour in a bunch of clear water to like push out the dirt, and it takes a really long time. It's not impossible, but it takes time. So you are the gatekeeper to your mind. Part of that is arming yourself with every morning or every, I did it when I was working full time. I would listen to my personal development in the shower. I still do that, but I do it more now at different points in my day. But it was the one time a day, at least like 5 or 6 times, that I knew a week that I was going to be able to like semi have alone time, heads up. I have my personal development, like I have my phone on top of the shower. It's just blaring. Kids are running in, but it's getting into your brain. Every time I drove to work, I listened to personal development. But when I drove back, I had music on because my brain was already done. Build it in, make it a habit. I promise you it will be the game changer for your business. And you just have to slide that scale to what you're struggling with in the moment, and being okay that if a book is not serving you in this moment, to switch your book or to switch your podcast or to switch what you're doing or to come back to it. You can return them. Like if you do it on Audible, you can return your books. I just keep them because later in life or down the road, I might really need that book. Like everyone said, unfuck yourself was like a really good one. And everyone like raved about it. And I like couldn't even get through the first 2 chapters. I didn't like it. I did not like what I just didn't like it. I'm sure he's a great guy with like a really awesome message, but I just didn't really like it. And everybody and their mother told me to read that book. And I just didn't really like it. Some people do not jam with Rachel Hollis. I think you're crazy, but maybe you don't. No, I'm just kidding. But you have permission to say this book is not serving me. I'm going to put it down. Maybe I'll pick it up. Maybe I'll never pick it up. It doesn't matter. There are so many books that can serve you. Don't waste your time. I do suggest getting through the intro. Like sometimes the intros are always like, okay, get to it. And listen to your audio programs on 1.25. Because sometimes they talk a little slow and you're like, okay. Listen to it a little sped up if you're like me and kind of like a fast-paced person. And that helps you get through them a little bit faster, especially in the intro. And then you can always slow it down if they're a fast talker. Like Mel Robbins, I cannot listen to her books on sped up. She already talks way too fast. So that is kind of all I have to say about that, but I wanted to hopefully inspire you guys to swap out some Netflix time for some personal development. I will never judge anybody because I can binge watch a show on somebody else under the table. Like, if it's on Netflix and it's been there since like 2008, I've watched it. Vampire Diaries, like the originals, Grey's Anatomy, like all of them. I have seen all of them, and probably more than once. Walking Dead, like Scrub, like I've done it. And it has that was our lives. My mom always had the TV on. I actually don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm not a mom who doesn't do screen time, but I do understand that there is a difference between watching a show because you enjoy it and numbing out on your life because you don't want to deal with anything else. And the only way you're going to learn to do the other is to just turn it off and tell yourself, I'm going to listen to 10 minutes while I do the dishes. If I want to go back and watch TV, I can go back and watch TV. Just like in our towns groups, I tell you, just push play, and if you don't want to do it after 10 minutes, you can stop. You have to just break the habit because you were made for more. And the only way you're going to get there is doing more, is putting those work boots on and working on yourself. Working on yourself first and foremost, most importantly. And yes, fitness is so important, and I believe it releases endorphins that we absolutely need to combat things that go on in our day-to-day life. I think that Shakeology does amazing for the adaptogens that help manage stress, and the probiotics that clean our gut, and we're taking care of our body. It is so essential, but all of that is good, great, and grand. But if you're debilitated with comparison and limiting belief and you can't do anything, that's a problem. Yes, baby girl. Okay, go get it down. No idea what she wants. So that is my ending thoughts. In the team page, I have not updated it like in a little bit. In the team page, under the files, there's a personal development. I have hyperlinked all of the titles to Amazon. So if you wanted to the Audible, but then you could always scroll back if like you were a like if you like to read physical books, if that is your jam. But I encourage you, just like we've been talking about at the beginning of the week, looking at your week, planning it out, that if you know you need to check out a book from the library because that's just what you do it ahead of time. Don't sit there and wait like, oh, I need to go do this, I need to go do this. Just do it. Check it out and have it waiting there so you can just run in, run out, grab it, and be proactive. And in the meantime, get on a podcast or do an old team training call or a national wake-up call or go to Beachbody Champions and strengthen your technical skills while you're waiting for the book that you need for your emotional skills. I don't know if that's like an actual term, but be proactive and really, really lean into it. Also, personal development, if you are on a continuum with your personal development, it's great for posts. Half of the stuff that I post about is me like having my own personal takeaway from a moment on personal development where I'm like, oh my gosh, that spoke to me on so many levels. And then I take how I felt about it, and that is my post. I tie it into fitness, I tie it into the business, I tie it into being a mom, but ultimately a lot of my inspiration is coming from the aha moments that I'm having within my own personal development. So I love you guys. Really fast, ending this topic. I was hopefully going to get it done today, but I didn't. But just like we had applications for Level Up Leadership, we're going to have an application for our new coach pod. So if you're a new coach and you want accountability for basically learning and executing the Success Club tracker, we're going to start small where it's going to be like, this is a lot of things on the Success Club tracker. You need to pick like 3 today, then tomorrow you need to pick 4, and then the next day you need to pick 5, and then we're just going to build on it because it's kind of like juggling. This business is juggling. You have to like learn to juggle 3 balls, and then you add a 4th, and then you add a 5th, and then it really doesn't take much time, but you have to make it a habit first. So we're going to have that application. And then starting this week, I'm going to go back to the Q&A calls. So the Q&A call is when you turn in your Success Club tracker on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday morning, you will get a link, a Zoom link, in the, like in your messages or whatever. And it's an opportunity for you to jump on, and we're here as a team to ask like any questions. So it's kind of just an open call. It's not I'm not gonna have a topic like in mind. It will just be, hey, you jump on, or if like everyone comes and they're quiet, I'll have like probing questions, like tell me about your invites, or like, and then usually that sparks some discussion, and then we can work through it. Because in the beginning, it's just leaning on each other or figuring out how to do stuff. And then we will continue to have the level up group. And so that is once you master the basics and you're really ready to run with the business, then you can go into that group. And they have their own requirements for those calls as well. So it's not requirements because like I'm so busy and important that like I need to set rules for you. It's that we have to know what we have to ask. It's that confidence bucket. If you come to a Q&A call and you say, well, I haven't done anything yet, you're going to have a million questions. However, the only way to answer some of those questions is to do the work. Does that make sense? And then you understand like, hey, I sent this message, but I didn't really like how it sounded. Cool, let's talk about it. So yeah, that's the new thing we have going, and that's how we're hopefully going to be growing. I'm hoping to see some babes go Emerald on Thursday. We had our new coach call last night, talking about leaning into our friends and family, and our business week goes from Thursday to Wednesday. So like on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, the business week ends. And then on Thursday morning is when you see rank advancements, you see your paycheck, you see all of the things. But that doesn't like just happen. Like if you sign up 2 coaches like on a Monday, you're not like, I'm Emerald on Monday. They happen every Thursday. Every rank advancement is every Thursday. So, and also we have also, I should probably make a graphic or something. But Lindsay Matway, if you don't know who Lindsay Matway is, she is the top, like, she's not the top coach in regards to like when you, Ashley Mulsa is 2019's top coach. But Lindsay Matway is the highest ranking coach that we have in the network, and she is one of our uplines. She is incredible and like all the beautiful and gorgeous and wonderful, most human ever, and like, I'm not necessarily like a church-going folk, but she is like very spiritual and like she's just amazing. Anyways, so we have the opportunity to lean into a Diamond Dash with her. So I guess Diamond Dash is not the right word, dash, but it's like a Emerald to Diamond information group. So once you go Emerald, and I'm pretty sure it will start in 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to go Emerald, and there will be other parameters, but you'll be able to learn from some of the top coaches. I'm sure you love hearing from me, but other people who have had way more success and like understand how to do things on a bigger scale are going to be teaching you a lot. So everyone set your sight on that, and when she posts about it, I will post the information to you. She just hasn't shared any info yet. Are you pulling shirts down? Thanks so much, girlfriend. So I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing night, and I'll see you next week. Oh, we have to do a picture. Rachel, gosh, you're like on it. Okay, so we'll do a picture. First picture. 1, 2, 3. And then boomerang, hold on. Okay, do something funny for boomerang, like a dance move or a hair flip. 1, 2, 3. Oh, loved it, Eva, with your hair. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, always, of course, post on the team page or message me. Love you guys.